What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Today is Monday, March 25th, 2024, and I am just over 2 weeks into my 8-week mini cut. So I started this mini cut at 164 pounds, okay? I personally feel my best at about 150. So I was like roughly 14 pounds overweight. And as of this morning, I was just below 160 pounds. So collectively, in the past 2 weeks, I've lost, I'd say like just under 5 pounds, okay? Which is completely normal. Obviously I didn't drop 5 pounds of fat in 2 weeks. A lot of that is just kind of like my body flushing all of the excess water that I've been holding on to, because during a cut, like whenever I go into a cut, whether it's a mini cut or a competition prep, I will always ramp up my water intake, because a lot of people don't realize that if you're not really keeping track of your water intake, you tend to drink a little bit less than like what you quote unquote should be. And B, because you're drinking less, if you're still training and being active throughout the day and, consuming products with higher sodium counts, which in North America, it's a little difficult to avoid having higher sodium, that your body is gonna retain more water, okay? And it's almost like a defense mechanism that your body has to protect itself, right? So whenever there's any form of stressors, that's not even just, that's not just dehydration. It could be stress, it could be lack of sleep, it could be any sort of illness, injuries. All of these things will cause inflammation and water retention, okay? Because that's just how it goes. But anyways, when I start a cut, I will always ramp up my water, and then naturally I'll see maybe like 1 pound to 2 pounds drop off in the first like few days to a week, just strictly from water weight, okay? Now also, I did mention in my full day of eating video that I'm currently at 2,200 calories. So I wanted to provide a little bit of clarity as to like why I'm following that low of calories, and B, like how I structure it throughout the week, okay? So typically where I'm currently at, I'm doing a bit of like a carb calorie cycle. That's what I've been doing for the past couple weeks, where I'll be at 2,200 for 4 to 5 days of the week. And then I'll usually have one day where I'm in and around like 24, 25, and then one day where I'll be up upwards to like 3K, like 2,800, 3K, all right? And the reason I do that, is to sustain my strength, okay? I don't want to lose my strength going into this cut, even if it is a little bit more aggressive. Because to give you perspective, when I'm doing a bodybuilding prep, okay, I'll start at a much higher calorie count. Like I'll figure out what my quote unquote maintenance calories would be, and I'll just dip maybe like 150 calories below that, based upon, of course, my expenditure at the time with my training, any movement that I'm doing throughout the day, like my NEAT. And I'll dip down by like 150, 200 calories. Then I'll see how my body responds. But keep in mind that in a bodybuilding prep, I will stretch that over a course of like a minimum of 20 weeks, right? On average, I'd say it's about 24 weeks even. I'm usually doing my cut for 6 months. And the reason I do that is to sustain as much muscle mass as I can, because the slower you can come down in body fat percentage, the less likely you are to burn a substantial amount of muscle mass, right? Especially as a natural athlete, because I don't have the help from PEDs or those extra supplements. It's an uphill battle in regards to retaining muscle. And of course, like I work my ass off to build this muscle, right? But yeah, going back to the calories, I'm at 2,200 for about 4 to 5 days of the week. I think the first week I was at 5 days of the week at 2,200. And then this past week, I did 4 days, okay? Then the other 2 days, I'll bump it up by 300 to 400 calories to a moderate day, and then I'll do one high day, just to kind of replenish my stores and make sure that, like, going into the new week, that my strength is still kind of up there, right? Now, this is what works for me. It's different for everybody, okay? Like, but I do have quite a few of my clients on carb calorie cycles, and it tends to work well, right? Because the thing is, if you just cut your carbs completely, you're gonna start to feel lethargic, your strength is gonna face plant, and even if you do see some more drastic weight loss off the forefront, on a long enough time horizon, you will hit a wall that becomes very difficult to overcome because there's only so much you can do and there's only so much food you can take away. But needless to say, I'm down about 5 pounds currently, okay, which is pretty damn good because I'm trying to target roughly 2 pounds per week, okay, which again is very drastic. Usually I'll aim during an actual prep, like a competition prep, I'll aim for like 0.4 to 0.5 pounds at best down per week until I'm further on into the cut, then I'll start to drop like a pound a week. But because, like I mentioned earlier, I feel much more comfortable and healthy at 150 pounds walking weight. And I want to go into the summer a little bit more agile, okay? Because my goals right now are more so revolving around conditioning and core stability, strength, power, like more athleticism. So, that's why I want to be down in the 150 mark, which is why I'm going to target about 2 pounds per week over the next 8 weeks. Well, 6 weeks now, and then try to get myself down to that 150 pound mark. I'd be completely fine with even like 152, 153. Like it's not like, it's not like a super crazy thing, but I just didn't want to be in the mid 160s anymore. Because the heaviest I've ever been, to give you guys perspective, I'm 5'4", okay? So I'm pretty short, like I'm relatively short. And the heaviest I've ever been was back in like 2018, where I did my first all-in bulk. I was consuming upwards to 4,500 calories 5 to 6 days of the week. And then 1 or 2 days of the week, I'd bring it back down into the low 2000s, just to allow my body to metabolize, okay? That's a story for another video because I could go on and on about all-in bulks. I can't say I agree with them. I can't say I don't, but my experience personally was absolutely terrible, and I didn't even I didn't make that many gains through that time period, okay? Because that was 6 months. But the heaviest I've ever been was actually 175 pounds at 5'4", right? And I can safely tell you that like it was very uncomfortable. I was tired all the time, and it just wasn't a good look. Okay, even walking up and down the stairs, I was getting gassed. So this is why now, at 32, I just turned 32 last month. I know that like my walking around weight, like my most comfortable walking around weight, is from 150 to like 155, and that's not just physically me feeling good, like about like how I look and my aesthetic, but it's also psychologically and like bodily function and like just all around, I feel a lot better at that weight. But yeah, I just wanted to check in with this video, kind of gave you guys an update as to like where I'm at in this 8-week cut, because I am going to be documenting the whole process. I did not take, I don't know, did I take progress photos? No, I didn't take progress photos to start. So, which is stupid of me because that's something that I preach to all of my clients and I always do whenever I'm going into a cut. But tomorrow morning, so Tuesday, the 26th, I'm gonna take my first set of progress photos, and this will kind of be where my starting point is. Then in the next video, I'll make sure to put those in. But for now, Coach Cruz is logging off. I gotta get some dinner in me. I'm pretty hungry. My brain's starting to leave me. Anyways, as usual, if you enjoyed this video, it's a shorter one. But if you enjoyed it, leave me a like. And if there's any questions that you have for me or anything you want me to elaborate on in regards to what I'm doing with my cut, just leave it in the comments and subscribe if you want to follow along with this 8-week mini cut. Let's go.